project for 2014, of course, is CPL T20. We did this last year. That was our first year of cheerleading. We didn't have time last year to do it properly, so I got 24 young ladies from Trinidad, and they went to every island, to Guyana, St. Lucia, Barbados, Jamaica, Antigua. They traveled and cheered for the respective teams. But this year, to make it more all-inclusive, CPL hired me to actually go to all the islands and choose cheerleaders of the island. So all I have done, we left here on the 27th of May, myself and Rihanna Ramdani, she is my dance instructor. We went to Guyana, we went to St. Lucia, Barbados, and Antigua. But prior to that, girls were asked by ads in the newspaper and on social media that if they were interested to becoming a cheerleader for your island, to send in a photograph and a video of themselves doing a dance to Caribbean music, which is pretty easy for every Caribbean girl. We want to tell the whole world, we have 100 million viewers. So this is one way to promote the Caribbean. Come and see us. And we're all different colors of browns. And last year we captivated the audience, and this year I hope to do the same. And the girls are very keen, they're very enthusiastic, they want to do it. Not only do they want to promote their island, not only do they want to promote the Caribbean or the West Indies, they are thinking the opportunities here are endless. Just being seen by 100 million people, you may get a job as a model, you could get a job as an actress, you never know. And it's a cool thing. These kids are all at university. Nobody is just doing this for a job, but they're home for the August holidays, and why not? It's a girl thing. They're all between the ages of 18 and 24. They're all athletically built. They're all gorgeous, and they have to be of the island. When you hear the announcer or the DJ say, "Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome the CPL cheerleaders," the whole auditorium, the whole stadium goes up in a big roar, and it's quite unnerving. And for young girls coming out for the first time to do something like this, and this is their 50 minutes of fame, and seeing themselves on a big screen, it's quite overwhelming. I've been cheerleading since 2000 with the Carrot Girls, with the Digi Girls. We're at every cricket match, every concert, every football match. So we've been doing cheerleading forever. So I have a full contingent here. And I had 3 days with the help of Rihanna to train these girls in the various routines. Now, we do not want to be IPL dancers. We do not want to be American dancers. We're not tumbling and doing splits and that. We are actually doing our own thing. And so you can feel the Caribbean, you can feel the West Indies, you can see it in their smile, you can see it in their eyes, you can see it in their movement. And it's a hard job because it's 20 overs plus 20 overs, that's 40. There's 10 outs, that's 50. There's 10 sixes and 10 fours, you've got to 70. They have to get up 70 or 80 times every time the music comes on and do a routine. Obviously, they cannot learn 70 routines. So we've got a lot of action, a lot of pom-poms, a lot of movement, a lot of sending kisses and waving to the crowds. And we try to get the audience and the spectators involved with them while we're dancing. The marketing people in Trinidad realized that promotions is an integral part of any marketing campaign. You could have billboards, television, radio, press, the works. If you do not have a young person or a person coming to tell you about a new product or what it entails, or something is happening in Trinidad, you're not going to reach a market, you're not going to get sales. Because they get paid to go to cricket, they get paid to go to football, they get paid to go to a concert where all their friends are outside lining up to get tickets. And we are VIP, on stage, off stage, backstage. It's a very, very thrilling experience. But the clients are very premium, the clients want the best, and the girls are well paid, so they must deliver quality work. So it's just like a big act, it's just like Hollywood. You go out there for 3-4 hours and you pretend. And this augurs well for them when they move into the real world. Because I've heard from a lot of people that 3 or 4 girls will go for an interview and they all have the same qualifications. But the way, the mannerisms, the attitude, the charm of my girl, she gets the job. And more I've heard this. And it's a pleasure. Every time somebody does something, gets a degree, gets a big job, gets married, has a baby, it's sure a couple of them fell through the cracks. But over the years, I've had maybe, 2,000-3,000 girls? And guys. I've had guys too, Carib guys. The first time we had Carib guys and girls cheerleading was 2002, I think, prior to the World Cup. But this era, this part of my life is much more interesting than the old TV days. I started in television and radio in 60s. I did advertising at agencies. I just evolved with every decade. And I came upon this by accident. I was the public relations officer at the NCC. And Colin Murray met me there at one of the Carnival extravaganzas. Because every night we invited guests to the hospitality suites. And he said to me, why don't you come across the Caribbean and be my promotions coordinator? And I said, sure, how much are you paying me? And he said, and I thought, wow, okay. And I had no idea what a promotions coordinator did. And that's how it started. That's how the Carib girls came into being. I went to the bars, and when the people drank and they kept their crowns, they were given a hat or a t-shirt or some trinket or a koozie. And I said to Colin, wouldn't it be nice if we had a young lady presenting this reward? And he said, okay, well, let's get some young ladies. So we got one or two, and the proprietors and managers of all the bars all over Trinidad and Tobago heard about this girl who was visiting the bars and giving out stuff. And he said, but this is growing, we now need 12 girls because everybody wants to get in the action. And then I decided not to just dress them in a Carib polo and a pair of jeans, but let's have pretty little blue and yellow sexy outfits. And the Carib girls were born. It was just quite by accident. Philosophy, I want to be alive until I die. I don't want to retire and just sit around and do charity work, which is not a bad thing. I do charity work, but I don't want to be the housewife. I don't want to just have coffee mornings or chat or go to the gym, which I do, but I need to have a life, and I'm very passionate about this. As you can see, we're home. All the girls come here to dress. I'm not taking your outfits to the bar or to the party to have you change in a changing room. I'm a control freak. I need to see your makeup. I need to see your hygiene. I need to see that the outfit fits you properly. We all have the same shoes. We all have the same earrings. You're not coming and wearing wedges or flats or slippers. Everything must be perfect because the client is always right, and I aim to please that client. A success in most things, in maybe everything, not only financially and business-wise, but I've got a good marriage. I've got 2 fantastic children who are strong, educated, in good jobs, and I have 6 wonderfully bright, beautiful grandchildren who, had I known, I would have tried to bypass the children altogether. But life has been good. The worst times and the best times, gosh, that is hard, because every day, once you are living in the public's eye, you have dramas, and the whole of Trinidad would know. So if you have a mispronunciation or a bad show, I've done a lot of pageants, I've done a lot of fashion shows, I've done a lot of I commentated on TTT for years about Carnival. So sometimes you slip up and you feel embarrassed, but I feel that every embarrassment is a hurdle for development to move on and be better. So those are my worst times. It's never bad enough to me to give you one worst time. It's just that because of my lifestyle, you get bad times.
And it's very public.
And it's very public. But on my best times, I think is living with these girls. I feel there's a love-hate relationship with them, because they get buff, and I love them and hate them, and they love me and hate me, because I want the best from them. And I'm involved a little bit in their private lives. And I'm like a life coach. I don't only want you to work for me. I want you to go on and be a success and have everybody say, no, you're just not beautiful, but you're successful, and you have the inner beauty and the outer beauty. And I'm very spiritual, and I do a lot of church. In my latter years, I feel that it's necessary to balance God, my spiritual life, with my private life, my public life. And I tend to give a lot, because when you give, I feel you get back. Childhood was very lonely because I'm an only child, and people felt that I was spoiled. But you know, you can have $400 in a house by yourself. It's not a lot of fun. And my parents sent me to boarding school at 13 to England, Notre Dame convent, and that was the best thing that ever happened to me because I did a lot of RADA courses. I did the normal O levels and A levels. I was never very academic, but I picked up a lot of the drama, a lot of the accents, so that when I came back to Trinidad and I did an interview because I went up for this JC's Carnival Queen, June Gonzalez heard me on television and offered me a job. It's a horrible thing to say, but I don't have a resume. I've never been interviewed, and I've had loads of jobs. It's just go because of who I am, because I talk a lot. I went from job to job without an interview. Carlos John at NCC hired me without an interview. Colin Murray at Carib hired me without an interview. The agencies, Rick Hernandez, John Corbin, where else? Yes, mother and father, they were married forever. They died 10 years ago, 6 years ago. Great parents, loving, caring, took very good care of me and my children and my grandchildren. They left everybody well off, not rich, but well off. And most of the money has been allocated for education because my father felt very strongly that everybody had to be educated so they can hold your own. Don't come and ask for handouts as you grow older. And my son has done well. They both were educated in England, son and daughter. Jean-Pierre is now the managing director at Whitco. He was educated in Canada as well. He got his degree there. My daughter did law in England at boarding school, O-level and A-level, so she ultimately did University of Wolverhampton, and she got her law degree there, came back to Trinidad and did the hearing. And she's now the Vice President Legal at SMG. So both very strong, good kids, good. Big breakthrough came in 93. In between the first and the second marriage, I had nothing. And I had to start again. And I built this on my own. Yes. I had no home and no money. It has been a very good life because you have to have these stumbling blocks to appreciate the reward. You have to work hard so that when you get, you appreciate it. And it's just not handed to you on a platter. Any regrets? Not really, Small personal regrets. Losing a friendship. No. It's not big regrets. No big regrets. My OMG moment is now. Because everything in my life seems to be going right. And I think a lot of it, or all of it, has to do with my relationship with God. It happened about 15 years ago, and He's been with me every step of the way. It's a wonderful feeling of well-being. And even if I go off course now and then, or something happens, I get back in step with Him through prayer, through church, with God. I can do nothing without God now. You have to. I'm afraid of flying. And with this CPL thing, I did 12 flights. You just go with a spirit of surrender and leave it to God. He knows I'm a coward. All I ask is, don't let me die hard. Just take it as quickly as you can. But I'm ready. I've done everything there is to do. I have lived the good life. So whenever He decides I should go, I would. But I would like to go quickly.